Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Atmopshere, and today we're taking a look at Project EOS Rise, a cooperative worker placement space opera adventure by Flipside Games. Please keep in mind that this is a tabletop simulator demo based off of an unfinished prototype. As such, nothing you see here is finalized, and anything contained herein is subject to change. In Project EOS Rise, players will be working together to explore the universe, attempting to find information to locate a planet which humanity can take refuge on as a cataclysmic event threatens to wipe out all life upon Earth. A brief 2-page comic explains the backstory, with a 3rd page at the back of the rulebook meant to be read if the players are successful. If you're using the Tabletop Simulator mod, the setup is largely automated. You'll be able to press a button and it'll do most of the work for you. Nonetheless, we'll be exploring the setup steps all the same. You'll need to separate and shuffle each of the decks, including the damage, technology, and contract decks, 3 alien ship decks, and 4 each of mission and event decks. You'll also want to keep the advanced room decks separated, but these do not need to be shuffled. Place a star marker on the first space of each of the 4 tracks on the board, representing funding, intel, the incoming extinction, and how close players are to finding humanity's new home. Place a star marker on top of the hull tracks for the command room and the engine room. You'll also need to place tokens on shield control, 2 on the first space, 3 on the second, and 4 on the last one. The remaining rooms will start out unbuilt. You'll place a tile to cover each of them at the start of the game. Take 8 credits to represent mission starting funds. Keep the space station, facilitator, and attack flow chart cards in easy reach of all players. Then take the player boards. If you have less than 4 players, then 1 or more players will need to take multiple roles, as all 4 are necessary for the mission. The following steps are repeated for each crew member. First, place a star marker on the stress track at the spot with 3 lightning bolts. This is your minimum stress level for the start of the game. Place your skill tracker on the first spot on the left of the card, and take your full complement of cubes and place them on the spaces below. Take your contract marker and place it below that. Take your crew meeple that matches your color, and take 1 white skill die. Finally, draw a mission card. Each crew member will have a single long-term mission they can fulfill to gain various rewards. Now that player setup is complete, randomly draw 4 alien ships and place 1 on each space of the redeploy track. Also take a fast radio burst token, or FBR for short, a skill token, and a 1 credit token and place them on spots 1, 2, and 3 of the track respectively. Finally, it's time to set up the universe itself. Take the 4 space stations and roll the d6 for each of them. We'll be placing 1 each in sectors 9, 12, 15, and 18. Look at the sector in question and then place it on the appropriate galaxy within the sector. After that, take the d20 and roll it along with the d6. You'll use these together to place a number of tokens. The d20 tells you which sector, and the d6 tells you which galaxy within the sector. During setup, ignore and re-roll any 20s. Keep in mind that most galaxies are part of multiple sectors, with the exception of those on the edge of the board. This helps to weight the randomization so that most random spawns will tend towards the center of the map. In total, you'll need to place 5 asteroid fields, 2 alien ships, and 3 skill tokens. Depending on how easy or difficult you want things, you'll also place 2 to 4 FRBs, with more starting tokens making your task a little bit easier. Finally, do this one last time for the EOS starting location, but make sure there are no other tokens in the EOS starting space. If there are, re-roll until the ship starts on an empty space. Standard game rounds in Project EOS Rise consist of 9 phases, the first of which is planning. You're not likely to have much to do on your first planning phase, but if you've used any cubes from a crew card, they can be replenished now, with each having its own cost listed on the player boards. Additionally, if players have any technology cards, any of them may be discarded for credits at this time. The second phase is crew actions, where each player may take their crew meeple and place them on the ship to perform various actions. Each action is limited by the number of spaces it has available, so only 1 character can take the basic treatment action each round, but up to 2 can visit the training center. As the commander gains skill levels, you'll eventually unlock assistants, which give each crew member a second action. Assistants can do most tasks around the ship, but keep in mind that only the crew members themselves can undertake skill training or receive medical treatments. When you gain a skill level, you immediately unlock any benefits of such, which may be relevant to actions taken during this phase. Furthermore, once you reach the branches of a skill tree, the crew member may take one of the advanced room cards, granting them a unique action that only that crew member or their assistant may use. Crew actions will allow you to charge shields, repair damage, gain skill levels, and build new rooms. Each new room also unlocks a new action. To The crafting room allows a player to draw a technology card to be used for later, while the mining station allows you to deploy a drone to a nearby asteroid field to harvest resources. Meanwhile, the cargo bay allows you to undertake a contract. You'll draw 3 cards and pick one to keep. If it has any on-pickup rewards, you'll claim those immediately. Regardless, you'll then roll both dice to determine where you need to take the cargo and place that player's contract token there. If you manage to arrive at that space later in the game, you'll then claim the on-delivery rewards. The last room is the Deep Space Scanner, which allows you to roll the crew member's skill dice and gain rewards according to results. Additionally, if the EOS is located in the same galaxy as the space station, you may also use the actions on the space station card, all of which are fairly self-explanatory. The third phase in each round is EOS Movement. As it implies, the pilot will now be able to maneuver the ship through the galaxy. At the onset, you're only able to move one space. This can be temporarily upgraded by spending afterburner cubes, or permanently upgraded by enhancing the pilot's skill level. Entering into a galaxy with an asteroid field will deal 1 damage to the EOS, while any FRB, skill, and credit tokens you pass through without an alien ship will immediately be collected. Each skill token allows 1 crew of your choosing to level up, while FRBs advance the progress track. When progressing along the progress track, if you enter a space that has a skill symbol, then similarly, any 1 crew member may level up. If you pass by any alien ships along the way, draw a card from the matching deck, then shuffle its token back into the alien bag. These ships are now in pursuit of the EOS, and you'll have to fight them in the next phase. If an alien ship was carrying a token, place the token on the card you just drew. And that brings us to the 4th phase, EOS Attack. This is where you'll do battle with the alien ships that you engaged in the previous phase. Begin by deciding which crew members will partake in the attack, though keep in mind the combat specialist must always participate in battle. Next, draw a number of damage cards dependent upon the combat specialist's current skills. If 2 or more cards have the same target, named in red, then any crew member may make a first strike. This will increase the crew member's stress level by the amount listed on the card, but also increases that card's damage value by the same amount. Regardless of whether or not any first strikes occur, you'll proceed to the attack roll. Each crew member participating now rolls their dice. Any stress symbols will immediately apply that much stress damage to the crew member that rolled the dice, although this can be negated with Commander's stress relief pills. Be careful though, if a crew member maxes out their stress, it will reset to its minimum level, but they'll also lose 3 skill levels in the process. Once dice have been rolled, players may collectively place them on damage cards to activate them. White skill dice are available to all players and have 1 each of a yellow arrow, pink syringe, green gear, blue crosshairs, 1 stress, and a 2 stress side. Advanced dice are unique to each crew member. Coming in yellow, pink, green, and blue, they have 3 symbols of their matching color and 1 each of the remaining 3 symbols, plus a single blank side. Advanced dice do not have stress symbols. Each damage card has a number of symbols on it that must be matched to activate the card, with crosshair dice counting as wilds, able to fill in for any symbol. Once all symbols have been matched, you've successfully launched the attack and may use the card to deal damage to one of the engaged alien ships. If this destroys the ship in question, you'll immediately claim any rewards on the card, plus any tokens it was carrying. If any of the alien ships survive your initial volley, they'll retaliate. Firstly, you may choose to spend any shield tokens you have by placing them on top of the dice symbols on the alien ships. After placing shields, or choosing not to, you'll roll the d6. If it matches any symbols that are not covered by shields, the ships in question have hit you, and will deal the damage listed on their card to the EOS. The engineer assigns damage. Keep in mind that if a room hits 0 hull points, you cannot use its actions. If you lose the command room, the game is lost instantly. After assigning damage, you have the choice to continue the battle or flee. If you choose to continue the battle, you'll begin a new combat round just like the first. If the odds seem stacked against the crew, they can attempt to flee.
Never tell me the odds.
When fleeing, the remaining aliens will make 1 last attack roll, resolved as before. If the EOS takes any damage from their final attack roll, it must also suffer an additional penalty according to the position of the Extinction track. The 5th phase of each round is the Alien Movement phase. For each alien deck, you'll make sure 1 card is revealed. This will determine how that class of ship will act this round. Some effects can allow you to reveal these cards earlier in the round. If some cards have already been revealed, skip the decks in question. For now, you're mostly concerned with the top left corner of each card. This will tell you what those ships are targeting, either the nearest FRB or the EOS itself, and the maximum distance that they can move to reach them. You'll move all ships starting with those in Sector 1 and moving outwards. If a ship targeting an FRB can reach one, it will stop there or even forgo its movement entirely if it already starts on one. If a ship cannot reach its target, it'll move as close as its movement value will allow it to. If any alien ships come across the EOS in this phase, you'll draw a card for it to show that it's attacking in the next phase, and then discard the ship token. After all alien ships have moved, you'll proceed to the alien's attack phase. This works just like an attempt to flee. You'll have the option to place shields, roll the d6, take damage for each matching symbol, and if you took any damage from the attack, you'll take additional damage according to the Extinction track. There's only a single attack roll. After that, the EOS manages to lose its attackers. The EOS avoided all damage during the phase, it claims any tokens its attackers were carrying. Otherwise, roll the d20 and d6 to replace them in the universe one at a time. The 7th phase is the redeploy phase. For each alien ship in the redeployment, roll the d20 and the d6 to place them. If you roll a 20, set the ship aside in the mass invasion space, you'll roll to launch it during the next redeploy phase. If any ships spawn on the EOS space during the redeploy phase, they immediately launch an alien attack at the end of the phase, subject to the same rules as the previous phase. Phase 8 is Extinction and Event. First, you'll move the Extinction marker forward one space. If it reaches Earth, then you run out of time. Humanity has died and the players lose. This gives you 7 rounds, each representing a year, to complete your mission.
It's not what we did. They're afraid of what we might become.
Yeah, well, looks like we're becoming extinct.
Otherwise, you'll continue the game by drawing an event card. The universe is divided into 4 regions. You'll draw a card from the deck matching the EOS current location. Events can do just about anything, including spawning alien ships, granting you credits, giving or taking away skill points, and more. Some will resolve immediately, whereas others will change the rules for the next round of gameplay. Finally, you have the income and refresh phase. Firstly, you'll advance the funding marker and take the appropriate number of credits. If you have any mining drones, you'll also gain 1 credit for each of them. Just keep in mind that you can only deploy 1 to each asteroid field. After that, each crew member will take their meeples back, and you'll refill the redeploy track as well as the shield control room. Rounds will continue in this fashion until one of 3 endgame triggers is met. If the Extinction marker reaches the final spot of the track, or if the EOS command room is destroyed, then the players have lost. However, if the players manage to reach the final space of the progress track, then the final dash will begin. To start off, you'll roll like usual to determine the position of the Earth-like world. After that, round structure changes. You immediately go into an alien movement phase. However, aliens will no longer pursue free radio burst. If you draw a movement card that says that they would, they instead go after the Earth-like planet. If you draw a card that says that they pursue the EOS, they'll act as normal. If any alien ships engage the EOS in this phase, then you'll go into an EOS attacks phase, not an alien attack phase. During the final dash, the aliens will not give up pursuit. There is no retreat option, so you must fight until the alien ships are destroyed or until you are.
Victory or death! Victory or death! Victory or death!
After that, you'll go into an EOS movement phase, where you must take the most direct route possible to the Earth-like world. Once again, if you engage any alien ships, you'll have a to-the-death combat. If players have reached the Earth-like world and manage to clear it of all alien ships in orbit, then they have won the game. Otherwise, you'll proceed to a crew action step. Keep in mind that the crew has no time to rest and refuel right now. As such, they will not have time to purchase additional cubes. After that, you'll continue to repeat these 4 phases until either Planet Bob is liberated or the EOS is destroyed. Project EOS Rise is quite a challenging game. I've managed to beat it once on easy, but have yet to manage to do so on normal. However, for those who want an even greater challenge, you may have noticed that there are some symbols on the alien attack cards that I did not explain. For advanced players, those are used to give alien ships an extra edge in battle. Like many challenging co-ops, you're likely to have no idea what you're doing your first time around. You'll probably be soundly defeated, but you will come out with a much better understanding of what you want to do for next time. As this is a digital prototype, I cannot comment on component quality at this time. What I can say is that EOS is a unique blend of ideas. It's certainly not the first sandbox game, or even the first sandbox sci-fi game. However, there aren't many cooperative sandbox games out there. Although on the subject of cooperative play, I do feel that this one is better as a solo game than as a group. Because of the limited nature of skill points, you'll often want to heavily invest into a single character. When you're playing solo and controlling all characters, this is a non-issue. However, while playing as a 4-player group, while this can be strategically sound, it can still feel pretty nasty if you keep getting passed over for skill points. Nevertheless, gameplay does offer a lot of options in your path to victory. Pre-radio bursts are of course the most direct route, but delivering cargo and preemptively engaging enemies both give you alternative means to gather the information that you need to win the game. And of course, the best path to victory is going to depend heavily on the current situation at hand. On the downside, there is a fair degree of luck involved. Most of this can be mitigated, but I'm especially not fond of the event cards. These are typically undeniably good or undeniably bad for the players, and there's no real way of controlling which you'll get in a certain game. As this is a prototype, I'll not be giving Project EOS Rise a formal review score at this time. What I can say is that it's an exciting space opera title that I highly recommend to fans of solo games. It's a lot further along than most Kickstarter projects, feeling like it's almost finished, and I'm excited to see the final product. Project EOS Rise is coming soon to Kickstarter. If you're interested in backing, learning more, or trying out the tabletop simulator mod, the links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of Project EOS Rise? What space opera titles do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.